So here we are with Rauta, sailing the seas, Nordic Metal Cruise 2021. And today's theme, that is, this cruise's theme, is pretty much like draw out your swords, wear your chainmails, and get ready to battle your enemies. Thy enemies. We have Ensiferum here. Pete, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
Nice to have you here. You played a show as a headliner yesterday. Yet you are not, drunken bastard crawling around the floor and being wasted. How is that possible? You're a Finnish metalhead after all.
I quit drinking 7 years ago.
How is that possible? And now people around the other side of the monitor or TV screen are like, what the hell? I know everybody in Finland, they are drinking bastards. They know nothing about except metal, drinking and sauna. And you removed one part of this whole deal from the equation.
Yes, I did.
This is a really personal question, not so much related to the band, but I'm saying, how did you come to this solution or decision?
Got a little bit medical issues for that one, so it was either keep drinking and
keep playing,
fuck up your life, or stop drinking and keep playing.
And you've been totally cool with it since.
Kind of have to be.
All right, that's a cool way to do.
Yeah,
I have to be cool with it, so let's be it.
Yeah.
So, okay, let's start with the basic introduction. I basically told you through this whole thing because there are always some probable new fans going to find things about you, but they're not yet aware what you guys are doing. So, Pete, could you introduce your role and the basics? What genre is Ensiferum all about?
I'm Pete. I play guitar and do the growling vocals in the band called Ensiferum. And we are folk metal, apparently.
That is always a kind of curious subgenre because sometimes people are like, is this pagan metal? Is this some kind of heavy metal with heathen topics? Or is it black metal with more chainmail and fur or whatever? And folk metal is one of those kind of debated things, like where you draw the line, where it ends and where it becomes kind of a black metal with more LARPing elements, if you will. So what is your definition of folk metal? Metal for people?
I really don't know. That is a very good question.
Or a stupid one, I don't know.
That too. But when you have very much like a folk metal influence in your music, that most likely gonna define it, So also the traditional folk metal, like folk instruments, like kantele and violins and these, I don't even know their English names. Nyckelharppa ja.
Oh, okay.
All kind of weird things. These kind of instruments. Otherwise, I got nothing.
Why do you want to incorporate them in your music altogether? I mean, wouldn't it be just easier to stick with the basics, guitars, bass, drums, vocals, and just get it on with it? Why do you have to have these? What is the importance of those instruments?
I think we would need to ask that one from our main composer Markus, who is writing almost all of the music. What is his thoughts about this one? But I think he wants to bring out the melodies. They sound different with the different instruments, so you get the different kind of mood. If everything would be played just with a guitar lead all the time, it would go more to power metal-ish. Yeah,
you kind of have this power metal thing with lots of these folkier tunes or say instruments. Like yesterday, actually, I was outdoors working at the yard and I was listening to your latest album and I was kind of thinking, this is so uplifting, really good music. It's only a step away from the basic power metal. But then again, you also have vocals which are not that much power metal thing, which separates you and brings you kind of closer to what is called black metal or what kind of a pagan metal. But you definitely have those folkier tunes which are almost like traditional folk music. But then again, you also have this metal instrument, so you're kind of a hybrid, or should I say a mutant of metal music.
I like mutants.
That's why
Turtles.
I used it. Yeah. So, what originally brought you to this folkier stuff? What keeps you ticking from that part of non-metallic world, if you will?
That's a very awesome question again. The will to create new music, to sound a little bit different than on the previous record.
Yeah, because you've been around for more than 25 years, or roughly that amount of time.
26,
yeah,
7 maybe now.
Exactly. And obviously, back in the days when you guys were formed and all that stuff, this wasn't really a thing. Nowadays, we obviously have people who have been like, okay, we're going to do stuff like Ensiferum, we have to do stuff like Musoro and stuff like that. So you basically kind of more or less created this whole Finnish folk metal sound. And yet all these bands, you have been in the same book even, you all have their own sound and own feel, kind of unique thing, but you also have similar elements. So how do you kind of distance yourself from the other bands in order to sound yours truly? Like unique Ensiferum sound and still not, going too much away from your comfort zone or whatever it's called.
That is the yearly debate at the rehearsal room when writing new material. Mm-hmm. Like, can we actually do this? Like, yeah. We consider that there is no limit what we can do. If you have heard song 2 of Spades, for example, mm-hmm. We got a Finnish disco part in the between where Frederick is singing, for example. So I think that's like, I don't know, the highest or the lowest point where we can go.
Yeah, depending on who you ask.
Yeah, so basically, like what Metallica says, we're Metallica and we don't give a fuck.
You're the next Finnish Metallica then. Aiming high.
Yeah. Well, go big or go home.
Yeah. But don't do Lulu part 2.
No.
Okay.
But anyway, just write the music what you want to do and make the best out of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
What is so fascinating with with history? I mean, we all have our things with history. Some people like more modern history, say like something like 20th century because of world wars or whatever. Some like to go to the medieval ages with swords and Black Plague and all that stuff. And I don't know, some probably want to go pre-Cambrian ages, like when no people were around. But you decided to go with these furs and chainmails and swords and bows and arrows and all that stuff. I am a long time geek role-playing dude, so I love that era. But what it is for you? Why do you want to go to the era when people were like sick and dying young and booze was horrible?
I think because the band was already there when I got it into this one.
So you didn't you have to say to like, hey, we need to have some other areas to explore. Fuck you, Shiland.
No, not really. The guys formed the band in like 95, 96, around that time. And the point was to make a ridiculously melodic death metal band. Mm-hmm. What they wanted to do. The bands that are the reason why Ensiferum exists is Amorphis, Dark Tranquility, the older In Flames also.
So basically like this Gothenburg style combined with Finnish melodic death metal.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. So, yeah. Gothenburg meets Amorphis and you got us.
Which has swords and crossbows. Or something like that.
Yeah.
At least at Kantele part.
Yes.
Okay. Then again, also Amorphis tapped into the very idea with the early material like Carolyn Isthmus and Spill's Tales with 1,000 Lakes. But you kind of took it a lot further. Instead of doing kind of a mainstream, easygoing metal, you went for the folkier stuff, which is definitely not for everybody. But those who like that uplifting music is something that they probably love and worship and even dance to.
Yeah, we have seen line dancing in our shows also.
Yeah, that's
and
something.
It was in Detroit.
Detroit.
They did line dancing over there. We were fairly fucking surprised about that to see 50 guys line dancing. I was like,
and in all the places in the world, Detroit.
Detroit, yes.
Well, you don't have medieval Detroit. Hello, you don't have medieval ages, so don't start, stealing other people's culture and all that stuff. You're very good at it. Yeah. What keeps you motivating nowadays when you are going for the lyrics and deciding like which way to say show Ensiferum's true colors? What kind of ideas or inspiration you need in order to make it sound and words to go with Ensiferum style?
This would be completely a question to our bass player, Sami Hinkka, who was supposed to be here.
And very drunk also.
I don't know where he is. He hasn't been seen since.
Oh, okay.
Since ages. Well, anyway, he is a man who doesn't even open up his lyrics to the bandmates.
Okay.
Yeah, because he wishes the listeners to interpret all the lyrics in their own way, so you can relate to the message, what you can hear in the songs. But for where he's getting it, I have no clue.
Okay.
Yeah.
But one thing that kind of got into my mind when I was listening to the latest album was that C is kind of a defining element, and now that we are actually cruising on a sea line archipelago area, it kind of fits that you guys are here. But do you have a personal or band level of idea what this element as known as C means to you guys? How is that so important? It's fascinating, but why?
Yeah, this is the first kind of like a theme album, not a concept album, no, but a theme album where water is the combining factor. Damn, we're going close to that boat. Yeah, where were we?
Talking about sea,
yes,
and its meaning to you.
Yeah, this started the album came out last year, so I would say about roughly 3 years ago. The idea came to have like a theme related album by lyrics. So he started working on that one, checking out different stuff. Like we got fairly topics for all type of ocean stuff, like Andromeda, for example. Then we have also one song about the Midsummer Night, and one with the sea, a little bit more deeper meaning with the ocean. But what is kind of weird, we're not that much like a water person, anybody in the band. We don't do, sailing or anything. We don't swim that much, and whatever. But apparently it seems to be a good topic to browse through, because there is a lot of stuff happened on the ocean.
Yeah, that is something that's very easy to let your imagination going.
Yeah.
I mean, I live on an island, so I personally have a very, very close connection to the sea. And, whenever you read people drowning during the winter because of, thin ice and all that stuff, or whether it's some dude on a boat getting, flushed by it's all those. Sea is definitely fascinating, so I can imagine the story. But you guys, do you live anywhere where it could, really inspire you, even if you don't do sailing or boating or whatever? Is there this element of, danger? Because in Finland, what people might not know, we don't have dominating, mountains or massive caves, but we are pretty much, half of the country roughly is dominated by this cold, kind of a windy seaside. Yeah. Do you have that, right there, I'm writing lyrics, I'm writing riffs, and the sea wind is coming to me? Do you have that kind of a feeling ever, or is nature anywhere part of that? Yeah,
I do love to go outdoors, not to the city, just as far away from people as you can go. That's a wonderful thing nowadays. Everybody lives in Helsinki and Espoo area, so it's 15 minutes drive, you're almost in the middle of nowhere. Yeah. That fast. So, and nature in Finland is everywhere. So even if you go to a small park in Helsinki, you can still feel like. Yeah, the wind is very much present there. The sea wind is always to say, hello. Yeah, yes. Yeah, you can never kind of escape it. I know. I've been enjoying the beach, freeze, winds, whenever we're doing anything with the band, like taking promo shoots, like for the last album. We went to Helsinki to the beach. It was in January, I think 4th, and it was the coldest, rainiest, windiest day of that month, And you got, you know, the time period in January, like from 10 o'clock till 2:30 daylight.
Yeah.
What you can take photos.
And that's it.
That was like one of the coldest days in my life.
Very enjoyable one, I bet. All right, talking about these lyrics combined with the music and all that stuff, you also have visual side. Like it's kind of a, what I would say, kind of a common that all kind of folkier bands have colorful cover images and all that stuff. So what's your story related to these cover images? How much story they need to tell as opposed to music and lyrics?
We kind of usually have a rough idea what we want to have on it, and then we see what we get from the artist when we place the order.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like a hit or a miss.
How much you get to decide that as a band? I mean, versus like one band having a vision, or is it more like, okay, dudes, let's gather up, have coffees and whatever drinks, and then just figure it out what we want to show to the audience, like when they go to the record store and like okay, this looks goddamn awesome.
Yeah. Well, somebody has some kind of rough idea, and then all kind of cool brainstorming happens. You know, even all stupid ideas counts at that point. So there's a lot of those ones. And then what fits the best to the theme or whatever we want to have on it gets passed along, and then we see some rough sketches about that one and decide like change this one, that one, you know, colors here and there, and then we have the product.
You're also a visual side when it comes to your promo shootings, when you go on stage and all that stuff. What is the meaning or story behind that? Like, how do you decide how you want to be seen on stage, not just playing?
That's a good question. You know, the war paint thing started already at the beginning of the band. You know, even though
the kind of a Braveheart.
Yeah, the guys running in the field. Yeah, I know the photo. It's also kind of like, you know, getting into character, kind of.
Getting into the mood and stepping outside your...
Yeah, you know, I don't like to go on stage like just looking this, just take a guitar, go. It will feel like rehearsals.
Yeah.
So kind of like put your game face on.
So there's kind of stepping into the role of musician, and then when you wear off the mask, you're back to your normal life, so to speak.
Go back to the couch and watch Netflix.
How do fans like notice you, like after or before the gig? Like, is there like somebody like, okay, I can spot that guitar player right after the gig? How will I get notes? How he's looking like and all that stuff?
They do recognize, you know, the war paint doesn't cover that much. Just 2 stripes on the cheekbone. So it's not that much cover.
Talking about fans, you obviously have done a lot of gigs, tours or whatever, and obviously toured around the world. But where is the best audience for your kind of music? What is the Ensiferum country, so to say?
Well, if I look at yesterday's audience here on the boat, that was fucking awesome. Like, crazy party all night long. So, Finland, definitely. But also, it kind of depends, you know, every country has their own thing, what they do and how they act on shows. For example, you can play a really bad show at Helsinki Tavastia, for example, if you have a lot of musical police officers standing over there, you know. Standing around like, okay, I don't even enjoy the music. I'm really not that sure about this quality, you know. But when the people are actually coming to really enjoy the show, you know, have a blast, that defines the show, every place. And France has been really crazy from time to time, same as Canada.
Canada?
Yeah,
okay.
They went totally nuts. I don't know what the hell it is with our music and Canadians, but they fucking love it. Because I can imagine,
not to mention France, but especially Germany has been this kind of a place that they love all kind of folkier stuff. They love everything coming from Finland, and they just seem to go crazy. Okay, you bring Kantele on the stage. Woo, let's go crazy and all that shit. But have you seen this kind of a folk metal, say, renaissance happening in Germany, or is it just a story?
I think the kind of like the highlight years have already passed. Those were like 10 plus years ago when, you know, all these pagan and Heidenfest things were a very big thing in this scene for that, I don't know, 5 years period or something like that. But since that, you know, it hasn't died anywhere, but the craziest enthusiasm has been going a little bit down from that one. But still, you know, you can have a good show everywhere.
What is your favorite place you haven't been playing a show? Like any country in the world or any particular city? Do you have something like, okay, I would like to go and conquer Brisbane next, whatever?
We have been to Brisbane.
Yeah, that was kind of a bad example, but I have no idea which places it would be.
We have played in 6 out of 7 continents, so we're missing one.
Antarctica.
Yeah.
Where have you been playing in Africa and how was it?
We were in South Africa. We played 4 shows, 3 in Johannesburg or Joburg, and then we went out to I can't remember the 4th one, but it was some kind of beach surfing place. It was awesome. It was really weird to play actually 3 shows within one city.
Okay.
Yeah, because apparently it's just too dangerous to go cross city to, you know, travel for the audience.
Yeah, it's one of the most dangerous places in the world. So
apparently, yes. Yes. So we played 3 shows.
Okay.
It was really cool.
Okay.
We liked it.
But if you got to choose that one place, like any city or any country, could you pick one? So now that they can start booking once the COVID is over and all that shit.
I don't know. I would like to go somewhere where I haven't been yet, and there's quite a lot of places.
No favorites, though?
Not so much.
All right, fair enough. Okay, we're getting closer to the end. But before I let you go and have fun with your friends and all that stuff, because no fun, no motion, no... Okay, let's not go there. Just a joke. You had your latest album out in 2020.
Yeah.
And obviously people are always, doesn't matter whether it's 1 month or 2 years, people are already saying, so when it's going to be the next one?
Yeah.
Are you already doing new music for the next album? Or?
Yes, we are. Yeah.
Okay. Can we expect any changes or what could we expect? This is maybe the most important question.
We're still in, you know, in the baby steps of the new songs. How they're going to be turning out will be a mystery even to the band so far. So I have no idea what is coming up, but it's going to be good.
Sneak peeking in the future, playing a little bit of an oracle game. I know that a lot of bands hate this question because like, I'm no seer, I'm no oracle. But how does it look like if you take a look at the future, 2021, 2023, or whatever, maybe in 5 years span? Have you had plans when this COVID thing kind of settles down and you're back on the road and doing a new album? Is there anything like for fans to be waiting for?
Hopefully we're gonna start, you know, living with this, not just waiting it to be eradicated. Mm-hmm. You know, I don't think it's gonna go anywhere. Just like
me neither.
Flu.
Yeah.
You know, it's not gonna be. There's gonna be another one and another one, just like, you know. Well, let's not get into that one too much. You know.
But like getting back to the normal, if you will.
Yeah, getting back to normal as it possibly is. Just get to that one. That will be fucking awesome. We already got a lot of plans for next year, 2022. And hopefully we can make all of those ones, what is planned. There will be like European tours planned and shitloads of summer festivals in Europe. And for the autumn, that is still a little bit open because it's still so far away. But hopefully, we can start living with this one and get back to where we were.
All right. Great. Now, the easiest question of them all, the last one.
Mm-hmm.
What is best in life?
Pooping.
There you have it. No Conan quote this time, mind you. All right. Thanks for joining us for Rauta. People out there, and now, the final last question. Which album you should say people to check out if they're new to the band? start with the latest one, or?
Yeah, that's a good one too. You know, because all the albums are different from each other. But if you're into swords and shit, check out Victory Songs.
There you have it. So now that you watched this whole interview, or at least skip to the very end to hear these tips, now you have something to begin with. And in case you're a veteran, you probably watched, the whole deal anyway. So stay tuned for Rauta, stay tuned for Ensiferum news, and maybe they will be coming to your city. Meanwhile, take care, stay metal, stay healthy.
Ta-ta.
Kiitoksia.
Okei, hyvä.
Tää oli hauskaa.
Kyllä myös.
Mukava kuulla.